Aloha. Hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii, and I'm with Real Broker, and you are here watching the July Island-wide real estate market update. And my guests are today Travis Green with Guild Mortgage. You can wave. I've got Nui Browning from Hilo, and she's with Team Nakanishi, and she's from Real as well. And then we've got Lance Owens with Luva Real Estate. We've got Eric Ziemelis with Real Broker, and we've got Jana Mahoney with KW. And all of us are going to help shed some light into this shifty market. And the one thing that people love to know about on these updates is what's going on with the money market. So we're going to start with Travis, who's going to talk to us a little bit about what's happening with rates and if the Fed is actually going to get fired. So, we hope not. So I'm going to spotlight that for you. So you go ahead and tell us what's going on there.
Sure. So Travis Green with Guild Mortgage. So the mortgage rate news is basically that mortgage rates continue within a very they continue to be within a very narrow range that they've been in for the last 27 weeks. So basically since the start of the year, there have been some deviations from that, slight deviations from that, but overall, both the 10-year Treasury yield and correspondingly 30-year mortgage rates have been in a narrow range. Mostly, that range for 30-year mortgage rates has been mostly between about 6.625 and about 7.25. And most of the time, it has even been in a narrower band than that, maybe 6.75 to about 7%. And so we still find ourselves in that territory. We got some updated inflation information recently. The consumer price index CPI came in at 2.7%. So that was an uptick from the previous month. The Fed continues to hold off on rate cuts because they don't want to contribute to a reacceleration of inflation. Based on the implementation of the tariffs, which have been pushed out kind of repeatedly, but now we have August 1st. August 1st now is like the triple dog dare. You're definitely going to do it this time deadline. And so we'll see. That's going to take a while to filter through to the data, but the Fed has a dual mandate. So maintain low inflation and maintain maximum employment. And the employment picture has also been steady. Jobless claims actually came in a little bit lower than expected this week. And so that shows that there's still quite a bit of strength and resilience in the labor market. Next week is a big week because we have another Fed meeting that concludes on Wednesday, July 30th. So the Fed meeting is a 2-day event. It's Tuesday and Wednesday. And they'll come out with their new policy decision, whether to, raise the benchmark rate, keep it steady, or cut it. It's expected that they'll either hold steady or cut. There's basically a 0% chance that they will hike the rate. And there's a decent chance that they will cut a little bit. And then 2 days after that, on Friday, August 1st, we get the next jobs report. And so that's always closely watched. We'll see what happens there. But as Julie alluded to, there's a lot of controversy about, the Federal Reserve chair, and is he going to get fired? And President Trump visited the Federal Reserve today, and they put on hard hats and they walked the renovation job site. It's this whole spectacle. Fed independence is very important for bond market confidence. If you take away the independence of a central bank of any country, then bond investors will lose faith in that as a long-term investment. So let's all just hope for Fed independence. Now that we're 7 months into interest rates being in this very kind of narrow range, what I'm noticing lately is that, a lot of buyers have kind of come back around, people that I've talked to over the last couple of years that maybe held off or, weren't quite ready, and they come back and they're like, oh, things are about the same, or they're at least not worse. And so I think that has really sunk in with a lot of buyers, that we're not going to see a major rally in bond yields and interest rates, most likely. That's going to significantly alter the facts on the ground, right? We're not going to be in a 6% interest rate environment overnight. And so I think people have that's kind of been digested, and people have accepted that and are just making plans to move forward with it. I've seen a pretty decent uptick in my kind of refreshed pre-approvals and offers and new escrows in the last 14 days.
Oh, just in the last few weeks.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's what we'd like to see. And then just throwing us out, heading into the fall, we all don't know. We just think that it's pretty much holding steady. The Fed's not going to do anything crazy, right? I mean,
they're expected to cut twice this year.
Yeah, they're expected. Okay.
Maybe once next week, maybe another time later, maybe one big cut later, like a half a point cut is what's kind of anticipated. Fannie Mae just updated their forecast for rates for the end of this year and the end of next year. And so they expect the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage rate to be about 6.4%, around December 31st of this year. And they expect it to be around 6% flat by the end of 2026. That's cool. We shall see.
We shall see. Okay.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Sorry.
Sure.
Is it by purpose that they do the Fed meets a few days before the jobs report comes out, or is that just the way it's happening this time?
It just coincides that way sometimes.
Yeah, okay. So they push it out maybe a week to think about it.
They like set their schedule, because the jobs reports are on a set schedule, and the Fed meeting is on a set schedule, and sometimes they crisscross. Okay. Same thing with sometimes they'll meet and we'll get an inflation report the next day, right? Like or the day before or something like that. And so it's just a fun little coincidence.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is wild. I was wondering the same thing. Thanks for asking that, Lance. It's like, don't they have some control over planning that date? Or why? I mean, that's weird. They could lower the rates and then be like, whoop.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I bet that somebody I bet
Take a
someone's
mulligan.
calling somebody and saying, so what do you guys think, or something? They probably pull the numbers. But it's interesting because the stock market seems to be still holding pretty well. So it's funny that we're all waiting for something to happen and it just keeps being the same. So okay, so
like a weather
do what?
I'm sorry.
I said, do you ever feel like a weatherman?
Like a weatherman in Hawaii, it's going to be a chance of sun and some more sun, and then maybe a little rain.
Yeah, I'm like,
and next day, a little rain, a little
82
sun.
degrees, light trade winds, some fog.
Yeah.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today.
Yeah. Showers on the east side.
Great holding steady.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of holding steady, let's go to Nui and seeing what's going on with the East Hawaii market, because your market is always a little bit more pumping than ours over here. So I'm going to make you the spotlight here. Give us an update for what's going on.
Okay. All right. So I will start in South Hilo. That area is kind of by the zoo to just past Akaka Falls. So like Waikoloa, or I always say Waikoloa, but Waikoloa means like up the hill, Waikoloa area, and just past Akaka Falls, if you know where that is, Honolulu area. So South Hilo, I just checked, and right now there's 100 active listings, and 30 are over 1 million, which is seems a little crazy because I don't know, just growing up here and everything, that just blows my mind. And the other thing that I noticed when I was pulling the stats is that once you get above 600 and like 650,000 in Hilo, the days on market to being sold just goes up dramatically. So things that are 600, 650-ish and below, those are selling pretty quickly, but if they're priced above that, they are kind of sitting a lot longer. So right now in Hilo, the price ranges for active listings are 450 to 23 million. And I did take out a couple of them. One was a leasehold in Hawaiian Homesland, and then one is kind of a weird situation where you're only buying a portion of the ownership of the property. So I'm not including those two listings. And then the one that's 450,000, to me, it looks like a tear down, and that's right in the middle of Hilo. So those are the active listings. So one that's 23 million is about a little over 50 acres, and it has about a mile of ocean front.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a really big house, and so that's for the actives. The average price. This number also blows my mind, just having lived here my entire life. The average list price in Hilo right now is 1.4 million. So
That's the highest I've ever heard ever coming out of a Hilo market report. That just means that you don't have that many houses for sale, and they were how many homes sold?
No, I mean there's more $1 million houses coming on the market is the thing that people are still listing a lot of the $1 million homes. And so I was talking to my mom about that the other day because she also pulls the stats. She's been doing this for 20 gazillion years. And I said, well, why do you think so many $1 million houses are coming on the market all of a sudden? And she said, I think just because kind of what Travis was talking about, where a lot of people who are in that price range, if a lot of them have very low interest rate. So if they're moving from $1 million home to another $1 million home, now they're actually paying way more for this $1 million home that you know where I'm going with that, right? So, and so now they're kind of just like, well, we don't see these interest rates going down anytime soon, and we have to move. So it is what it is, kind of thing. So that was her hypothesis. I think that's a pretty good hypothesis. Because last month when I checked, there were only 21 homes over $1 million, and now there's 30. So
Interesting. That's an interesting statistic, huh?
yeah. So last month the average was 1.38, so almost the same, but it's a little higher this month. Median is 800,000, which is still high. Okay, so sold properties in last month of June, there were 24 that sold in Hilo, and that was up slightly from June the year before.
Jana Mahoney, Michelle, or one other.
Sorry.
Michelle's calling Jana. Okay,
Call her out.
Hi, Michelle. The median list price in at the time of the sale in Hilo was 612,000 last month, and the average sales price, was 653,000. Price ranges of sold properties were 210 to 1.3 million. The 210,000 was kind of almost looked like, I'm curious to see what they do with it because it was very termite eaten, and I did go and take a look at that, and I've never seen the termites had kind of eaten the door off of the yeah, like the door wasn't hanging anymore, and they just had eaten it off. So it was crazy.
That's what you get for less than $300,000 in Hilo, friends.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I've never seen that before. But termites love doors and trim and things like that. And then the highest price sale was 1.3, and that was in, I think that was in Honolulu. That was actually my teammate Danny, his sale. I haven't seen that house, but it was, my mom said it was on 10 acres, and it was a nicer home, but nothing, there wasn't anything extra fancy about it, but it did have a lot of acreage. So those are the sales for South Hilo. And then everybody wants to know what things are on sale for. So the average sale to original price was 94.8, so about 95%, and the current price, the average current sale to current price is about 99%, up from 97 last month. Days on market average 57 for South Hilo. You have any questions about that before I move on to Puna, Julie?
No, that sounds like 95 is about where we're looking at for average for a long time, right?
Yeah. It hasn't really
It's like the
changed a
weather
lot.
report. Oh, it's 95%.
Yeah, you could probably just say somewhere in the mid to upper 90s and be pretty correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so move along to Puna. Puna is a humongous district. It's larger than the size of Oahu, and so for that reason, there were 393 active listings when I checked at the beginning of the month. I didn't look today. The days on market for active listings average about 118, and the price ranges are 25,000 to 1.98 million. That $25,000 property is pretty small. It's on like a 8,000 square foot lot, and it's a little. They're calling it a cabin, but I think it's like kind of like a shed, and it's unpermitted. And that's in Nanavali in Lava Zone 2. And then actually the one that's 1.98 million is also in Lava Zone 2, believe it or not, and that is off Opihikau Road. And that's 5 acres. There's 2 houses on it. It has an in-ground pool, which is unusual.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's not super unusual, but
It's pretty unusual.
in the ground pools are harder to do here because of the lava, and harder, literally harder, because the ground is so hard, and so it adds a lot of cost to a home when you have in the ground pool.
Yeah.
So the average price of the active listings in Puna right now is 476,000 about. And so yeah, that's for average information. And then for the sold properties, last month in Puna there were 77, down from 80 the last month, so almost the same. Median list price at the time of the sale, meaning this is what it was listed for when it finally sold, it was $399,900, and the sales price was $399. And that was up slightly from $395. And sales to price ratio, sales to current price average was 97%, and then to the original price was 94%. So about 6% on sale from the original asking price. And days on market average 68 in Puna.
Okay.
And
So that's kind of getting better. I think last month you
Cute.
said it was 75. So what was
the average in Puna?
yeah.
Well, last month I have 47. That's what I have written down here, but did I say 75 last time?
I thought it was a lot higher than that. Okay, well maybe that's good. That's at least it's not, things are still moving, not moving quickly.
No, because I think I have here I think what you're thinking of South Hilo was 70 last month.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, South Hilo. Okay, yeah. So okay, in terms of like the phones ringing in your office, where do you see? Are you seeing that more people are looking for houses, or is it kind of just slow summer?
Um, it's not slow. I feel like last month was a little, I don't, I feel like I'm going bananas all times. So, so I feel like I have been pretty busy overall, and I don't, I feel like maybe this month it slowed down a tiny bit for me, but not a lot. We have been pretty busy over here on this side.
That's okay. That's good. Okay. Okay.
Do you want
Good problems to have,
or
right?
Yeah, at least she's busy. There's people here who are like,
yeah,
please give me a buyer.
I have HPP information, but I also don't want to monopolize the time. So people could either contact me for HPP or I can share it.
There you go. There you go. And also, just so people know, that you're doing a specific East Hawaii update with me on Friday, the 8th. So if they want to see the statistics, they can also check on Saturday, the 9th for that information. So thank you, Nui. Appreciate your help. Okay, so let's go to Jana, who is going to talk to us as soon as my cat starts crying. No, I do not have a
You can't
baby.
hear it, luckily. It's not.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, it's bad. That's Eric going to go get
Pick my dog out for that reason.
that.
I come in this time.
Jana, first of all, as you're about to give us the statistics on what's happening in South Kahala, general overall feeling for what is going on up there.
I think that it's gotten a little more dynamic, a little more active since last time we talked, which is nice, right? I'm just seeing more activity kind of percolating up, and I don't know if it's, when Travis said people are just accepting that this is what the interest rate is right now. Maybe that's what's going on, but I am seeing a much more active and dynamic market this month than I did last month or in June.
Good. Okay.
So, in fact, in June, we had 11 residential home sales, and it was 2 in May.
Oh, that's right. May was horrible.
Yeah, May was rough. 380,000, which was a complete fixer-upper, to 1.7 million, which was new construction. And the median in Waikoloa was 725 in June. So that's lower than we've seen.
Yeah.
So I think that if people price their homes right, they're still selling. And let's see, sellers received 96% of their current list price and 89.6% of their original list price. I've never seen it go below 90%.
Ooh.
So
the sale on investment property from Waikoloa.
no, this is residential up in Waikoloa.
Okay, so they're single family homes.
Right.
Okay.
So 11 active, and we've just had more sales. We've got 43 active listings right now and 11 sold. Condos in Waikoloa Village, 32 active listings from 368 to 720. So 32 is kind of, it's nice. We've had only 2 sales that closed in June for 420 and 435, but both of those sold very, very quickly. The average is what was it? 16 days on the market.
Hey, that's fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I think if things are priced fast, they're still moving fast,
Yeah.
So if you see a lot of days on market, I think that what I'm seeing is sellers who can't reconcile the fact that it's not 2023 anymore or 2022, and they don't want to adjust their prices because the unit next door sold for yada 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 2 years ago, but it's not 2 years ago.
Right.
I mean, so that's kind of what I'm seeing here.
Yeah. It's interesting
monoline-
too, because they probably bought when either they bought at the top of the market, they're going to cry because they have to sell now for a little less, or they
Yeah.
before that the price ran up, and then they were all excited because they had all that equity, and then it went down, and then they're like, no, 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 and so we've had some people over on our side. They're going to wait for it to get better, and I'm like, and maybe
Well, I mean, if you bought in
if we get it down to
2023,
5%, maybe we get a different experience. So.
well, if you bought in 2023, you probably paid a little more, but you got a killer interest rate, right?
20 to 23, Travis.
So,
I think it should
okay.
hit the fan with interest rates around 2024. Yeah. So,
So they started to go up summer 2022,
see?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
but they really kind of reached where their current levels in late 2022 and early 2023.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because the fall of 2023, I think, is when bad things started happening in the mortgage market. It just seems all like a blur now. Time just keeps going by. Okay, so you've got
So Montalani residential, no sales again in June. So the second month in a row, there's been no residential property sale in Montalani. Only 8 active listings.
Wow.
Very high end for, 5 million to 25 million. Montalani condos, we had 6 sales. They went from 1.2 to 3.425. Average days on market 96. And let's see. Average prices increased quite a bit, so we went up to 1.82 on there. So I'm still seeing more things happening. I'm seeing more things selling. Sales volume rose from 2 to 6
hey, that's
from
great.
May to June. Yeah,
Wow.
so it's just more things are happening.
May was horrible. I'm just going to say right off the bat, boom, May.
Yeah. May was pretty dead. Puaco only one home sold in June for $1.8 million, 7 active. Okay, Waikoloa Resort condos,
Mhm.
52 active listings
Mhm.
in Waikoloa Resort.
Yeah.
And they go from 715 to 3.9. Average days on market is 118.
Wow.
So compared to May, we had 6 closings in May, so it's cooled down a little bit in the resort area. And I think we've talked about it before, the reasons for that, HOAs have gone up because of the insurance, and a lot of those are investment properties, and you have a lot of foreign visitors who are not coming. And so you have higher vacancies, lower occupancy rates. That's what we're seeing
Mhm.
a lot down there in the Waikoloa Resort. In Kohala Coast neighborhoods, they're all in Kohala Ranch right now, and there are 9 active listings. So you've got houses in there that are, a few of them are 1 acres, most of them are 3 acres, and a few of them are 10 acres.
Wow.
And in that whole big Kohala Ranch, there's only 9 active listings. So that's a pretty big area to have only that few listings. But it's a really nice area because almost all of them have beautiful ocean views. And you also are like 15 minutes from Waimea, or you can go to Waihai Canoe Club or Hoimana. There's
Jana,
nice-
Jen and I had a conversation about this. I was talking to a buyer who was thinking about Kahala Ranch, and I said, well, it's kind of far away from everything. And Jan's like, oh, you're only 15 minutes from Waimea. I'm like, well, it's pretty dry. Well, it's not that dry.
well, I'm in Waikoloa, so it's dry here too, right?
Yeah.
So both Waikoloa and Kohala Ranch have a private water
That's right.
company that supplies our water. And
It's expensive.
yeah,
Call
it
a
is.
spade.
It's not cheap. So like you want to have a lot of, but you don't have to. So we were talking about having a 10-acre lot. You don't have to landscape all that. You just have to have a small portion of it landscaped. So a lot of people just have kind of the natural look going up there.
Mhm.
I pulled up Mauna Kea condos just to see what was going on there, and only had 1 sale in June. It was for 3.6 million, had 38 days on market, and there are 5 active listings in there. And then just kind of overall, I pulled up some statistics to kind of look at what I could see as far as what is selling below asking price versus above.
Yeah.
And in Waikoloa residential, 73% of the homes sold below list price,
Mm.
which I thought was a pretty high number.
Yeah, those houses are usually second homes.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't really know that many people who live there full time. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I think there's a lot of people who live here full time.
Up in the Waikoloa, which was
In the residential.
okay,
uh,
Waikoloa
Village,
Resort or
right.
Waikoloa Village.
Waikoloa Village and Waikoloa Resort. Waikoloa Resort, definitely. Those are investment properties.
Right, investment second.
Waikoloa Village is
Yeah.
like where people live. And
Okay.
Yeah.
So Waikoloa
we
Village
have, we have
residential.
pickleball up here, Julie.
Oh, that's right. I was telling her also it's more fun in Kealohanui. And she's like, we have
It's
football
not.
too.
We got a giant pool that they just redid. It's so nice. And they have water aerobics we're 5 miles down from the beach. You can go down and paddle with the canoe club.
Yeah. If you guys want to be sold on Waikoloa Village and Waikoloa Resort area, talk to Jana.
Yes, I love it. I love it here.
So, Jana.
It is very different. It's dry. Monolani condos, 83% sold under list. Kohala Ranch, 50% sold below asking. Mauna Kea only had one and it sold at list, so that's whatever. And Puako had one that sold and it was at full price. So I'm seeing a lot of house, like when we were getting multiple offers and everything was going above list, that's not happening. That's
No,
not happening.
it sounds like
So buyers are successfully negotiating right now.
yeah. Okay. So it sounds like if you want a deal, buy a single family house in Waikoloa Village.
Yeah,
Okay, tell her.
I'll show you where the pickleball court is.
Okay, good job. Okay, so let's go to Lance. Okay, Eric, do you want to do the neighborhood spotlight?
Go Lance first.
Okay, I'll go to Lance first. Okay, Lance, you're the man.
Hey, thanks, guys. Make sure I'm unmuted, right? My screen didn't get green. It worried me for a minute.
Don't get hit by the clothes behind your head.
It seems like we just did our monthly report, so I kind of wanted to jump into a little bit different dive because of what we were talking about earlier in the week. And that was, everybody says it's slowed down, it's crazy, it's horrible, it's getting slow. So, what's it really like? And I jumped into
Mr. Optimism.
Yeah. So I wanted to see what the real numbers were year to date and then the current month. So anybody that watches us regularly knows that anywhere between 15 to 20% is an ideal market for the absorption rate. So below 15 is a buyer's market, above 20 is a seller's market. So interestingly enough, year to date, we are sitting at 16%. Is the absorption rate right now. I zeroed in on this month, or on, I'm sorry, June alone, and June alone was 15.4% was what the absorption rate was. So still in the balanced market, we're still doing good.
Mm-hmm.
And like I tell people all the time, there's probably half of our agents out there weren't around when it was, before COVID. They don't know what a normal market's like. So it's kind of, we're back to that. Things are normal. And we like to describe it. It's like if growing up in Vegas, I know we would go down to LA on the weekends and you're doing 80, 90 miles an hour on that big open stretch. You come into town and you're riding somebody's bumper like you're in a parking lot. You're doing 65 and 6 lanes of traffic and you're 5 feet away from the bumper. It feels like you're going slow, but you're really still doing 60 miles an hour. And that's where we're at. We're doing the speed limit. We're right where we should be. So it's the feeling's different than what the black and white numbers are telling us. So I think that's important to kind of understand. There is more units on the market, and that is definitely something happening. I think normally we should have about 135, 145 units on the market when it comes to condos. We're sitting at 174 right now. So
down from 180.
Yeah. So it's moving in the right direction. We talked a little minute ago about insurance rates and things. What's happening there? We're seeing a little bit of stabilization, even though the insurance stabilization bill just passed. They're not doing anything with it yet. So it is doing it naturally. So we're seeing it change back naturally. I think there's two condo units now that actually reduced their HOA fees this month. So uh, because people are having to sell, when their
Yeah.
HOA fees went from 400 to 700 a month on a fixed income in some of these places, it caused people to sell. So it's good to see that they actually don't just hold them where they're at. I thought that was good,
Mhm.
and we're seeing that. So I think hopefully people aren't selling because they have to anymore. They're just selling because they want to. I did look at some other numbers for us because I heard you guys all talking about your different for sale numbers and things like
Yeah.
that. So looking at the condo market, the median price from the sale to the original list price is 94.85%.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
right at 95. So there's a 5% sale in Kona as well on condos.
Yep.
So the blue light is flashing right now. And the how many people out there know what that
I was gonna
means?
say, listen, Nui, do you know what he means by that?
I'm sitting here. Was he gonna tell us? Is he gonna tell us?
No, I'm not gonna tell you.
A long time ago in
Is that a
Kmart.
Kmart reference?
Yes, it's a
Yes.
Kmart. They used to
Okay.
actually have little blue lights, and they would say it's a blue light special, and then they would flash these blue lights, and you would look for special sales all over the store.
It was like
You
a
know,
shopping cart with a blue light in it.
no, we don't have Kmart in Hilo. That's
Oh, there
why.
you go. Well, I think the Kmart here is not
It's been
defunct
gone a
too.
long time as
Yeah.
well, right? Yeah. So let's look at homes really quick to see what they did. And sorry, it jumped over to the wrong screen. Why do I got homes? Apologize, you guys. My screen, I lost the screen. So we are looking at just one little change here, and I will pull it up for you. Sorry about that. Changes from condos.
I'm enjoying your ocean view, so take
Oh,
your time.
this was a condo we sold, a home we sold about a year ago or so. So homes themselves now, the median price to sales to, I'm sorry, the sales price to the original price is 97%,
Okay.
97 and a half. So there's 2.5% sale on homes in the Kona
There
area.
you go. Okay, so then Mr. Dude before COVID, what was going on with the sale to list price back in like 2018?
Well,
Do you remember?
why don't
Because I remember when you and I
you,
used to do these videos, and we weren't really talking about like 5% sale on houses.
no,
They were
I
going
don't
for
know
pretty much
which
what
one of you
they.
guys started that. It wasn't me, but that's
Yeah,
funny. Right.
that was Amber and I, and then Nui and I have
Okay.
continued on that one. But but the thing is that it seemed maybe people were pricing them correctly because I mean, we weren't talking about deep discounts and sales prices.
I'm pushing us right back to 2019, right at this very moment.
Okay.
So we are the sale to original price in June of 2019. I chose 19 because 18 we got thrown off
Oh,
from the
the
volcano.
volcano, yeah.
Yeah. So it was 96% from
Okay, in 2019.
sale to original price. Yeah.
Okay.
But the median price is going to kill you. It was at 704.
Oh wow, and now it's at 1.2.
13.
1.3.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So even then, sellers were aspirational pricing and only getting 97% of what they wanted. So
Yeah, 96 on residential. So yeah,
96.
so it
Okay.
was 4% sale.
Okay.
That's actually a better sale than we have today.
There you
Because we
go.
were at
Think about that.
97 and a half, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So bigger bargains back then, not just in price, but in discounts.
the blue light was spinning around a little faster.
That's when Kmart was open, wasn't it?
Oh, funny. Okay, so is your phone ringing? Buyers?
Not
What's the story?
like it's ringing like it was in 2019. It's
Okay.
not ringing. It's
It's not ringing.
not like it was in the last several years, but yes,
Are your sellers
and
calling you?
staying
Are people trying to
steady.
get off? Are there people trying to get off the island?
I'm getting that. We're getting sellers. We're getting people that are not. We just turned down a listing about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. The client was just adamant that their house was worth a certain, and it's their house, It's they price it. They always price it. They always set the price. We give them, tell them what the market's doing, and they come up with their own price. And the price that they came up with, I wasn't going to waste my advertising dollars and
Mm.
my time. And there's somebody out there that chose to do it. So, and that's good. And I hope the person gets it. I just couldn't see that being anywhere at all, in the range. So we turned
That's
it
why
down.
you
So
hire a
we're
realtor.
turning down some things. If it was really, really bad, I'd take it and just hope that they lowered their price in a while, but we're still able to be selective. We fired another client because they weren't being realistic.
Oh,
And so it's good. I think, again, I think we're back to where we were.
yeah.
And it's hard to understand for a lot of people, but it's good. We got sanity back. We're able to take vacations. We're able
Yeah.
to do things,
Yeah. Yeah.
spend the weekends at the beach
Yeah.
and do what
Yeah.
we used to
Buyers
do.
have a chance to look at houses 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Wait
Yeah.
until their retirement turns over. We've got a person that is looking right now, but he's like, I have to like go clear up some stuff, so I probably can't buy anything for another 6 weeks. I'm like, okay, but he's like, oh, the house I like might still be on the market. I'm like, you're right, it might still be on the market. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's slow, but I think it works for some people not to have to be throwing money over asking.
What I found interesting, we at the state level, we saw a 9% drop in new realtors
Mm.
this year, people that signed up again. But interesting, in the last few months, we've had this big uptick of people signing on to be realtors again.
Hmm.
We had, I think, we're at 488 new members in the last few months
In the state of
statewide.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh wow, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's significant. That surprises me because it is slow,
Yeah,
um,
they just don't know
normal. Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, I had a
yeah.
guy.
So these people coming in now,
Yeah,
they're going to learn how to market. They're going
yeah.
to learn that things are going to sit there. They're going to sign year-long listing contracts. It's going to be a whole new world. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember somebody looking at me saying, "Why?" Was it during the craziness, and I still used my same templates, and I would list for a year,
Yeah.
and somebody came up to me like, why would you do that? That's crazy. They didn't want to sign the listing agreement. And I said, you know what? In this market, you're right. I'll move this let's just move it down to 3 weeks because I'll have it gone.
3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I remember I was getting photos done, and before I even got the professional photos in, the house was already sold. So
Yeah.
yeah, now that's not always the case. Marketing definitely. We're doing more videos and we're trying to reach out to more people in clever ways than we've done before. So yeah. It's a slower market. Okay, so let's
Normal market.
speaking of slower market, let's see what Eric has to say with his neighborhood experience. Let me reset that one. Thank you, Lance. Okay, Eric, you're going to tell us
I'm going to tell you about
apples to apples.
So we've been following these three neighborhoods since at least 3 or 4 years now, and it just kind of gives us a particular point to say, yes, this is going, this is not going, and it just kind of works well. And those neighborhoods are Lokahi Makai, and it's Pulani Estates, and then it's Ali'ilani. And so let's start with Lokahi Makai. And there are 4 active listings there, which is reasonable. I wouldn't say it's over amount. I mean, it seems from all the times we've done it, sounds about right. We had 2 sold last month. And no new listings going or contingents that gone on there. And the 2 that sold, one sold at asking price of 980K, and that was 100%, right? And then we had one that was listed at 1.175, and it sold for 1.115, and that is our perfect 94%. How surprising that it is with those different things. It's funny how you guys talk about all this stuff, and then you actually put it down to the little numbers. And you're like, oh, look, it's just like everything else. So look, I'm a guy running it completely, as Lance says, average, right? And then Pualani Estates, and this is always this one we've got. I would say we actually have more listings than I've seen, right? And we've got We've got 3 active listings, and we had we had 3 that sold too. So there's still good movement going on in Pualani Estates, and nothing has been listed this month. All right. And our solds were, one was listed at 6. Listen to this. Here's an outlier for it. It was listed at $699 and it sold for $730. So instead of it being 94%, we're at 104%. Going the other way on that one, which is, you don't see that very often. But this is going back to what Jana says. If it's priced right, it's gonna go. And it sounds like 2 people got into it with this one and said they wanted enough to make sure that they were going to get this property.
Yeah, because most of those houses aren't going under 900. So whoever got that got a pretty good deal. Maybe that's the one that's right next to the highway.
That could be. And then we had one that was listed at 928,000 and it sold for 923, and that was a 99%. And lastly, we had one that was listed at 975 and it sold for 950, 97%. So Pualani Estates, and just like I said, just rolling along, nothing too extravagant, nothing too well. But again, I agree with Lance that the prices, it used to be that we didn't see much over $1 million there. That was kind of like the borderline. And now all 3 of the active is $1,085,000 is one, $1,099,000 is the second one, and 1.15 is the third. So they're definitely, the prices are still high.
Yeah, but they're still for sale. What does that say?
Yes, and they've been on the market. One's been on the market 139 days, 97 days, and 14 days. So it gives you an idea on that. Okay. And let's see if maybe the prices will come down eventually. when it's that high. Okay, and lastly is our favorite, which is Ali'ilani, and it's our biggest condo complex here in Kona, and it's at 350 units. And usually, I would say we figured it was about 10 units would be an average year. And we have 11 active units, okay? And they would go active from 448 to 581 is the numbers for the range of women. So these came down, and these are the ones that Lance was talking about that are affected by primarily when the insurance came in, and it really put I think it was a $300 jump or $400 jump on the HOA, really slowed things down there. And a lot of people did choose to sell because of that. So we have a new listing there, which is good. And we have 2 contingent and 1 sold. And the one that sold was listed at 579 and sold for 530, which is a decent jump, and it would be 91%. So I would say average. And I think that now also understand that this is the complex where the insurance has gone down, and they are going to be passing that along. I don't know when that goes into effect, but on average, what's that?
August 1st.
August 1st. So it comes down $175 per unit, roughly, depending on the size of your, with average 2 bedrooms. So that does make a difference in your HOA fees, because I think that, it makes it a little more reasonable. And now hopefully, as more people want to at least be stressed about that kind of things. But it's funny how, you guys all go through your numbers and then to actually look at the real numbers and, on a micro level and see what is actually happening. And they correspond coincidentally.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to ask the group here. Seeing how these numbers are going, let me just throw this out at you. How many of you guys think that the people who actually got the 6% off originally asked for 12% off, and then they got met halfway by the seller?
All of them.
Right? So come on, Lance, is that kind of what you're seeing too? That people are asking for a kind of a bigger discount, and then the sellers come back and meet them somewhere between?
I am seeing a bigger discount ask at the beginning, like we used to see. That was kind of like again, it's kind of coming back around to normal. So
but I'll also say this. I've seen what it seems to be is there's definitely some sellers that are saying, I think my condo is worth X, and the one down the street sold for that, even though it was recently. So I am not going to be lowering it. That's just not. They're just not going to do it. You know what I mean? There's a bottom line for everybody, and what is it? 6% is where it is. 5%. That's about where. After that, they start to go. Wait a second here. That's taking advantage of it. But they might not sell it too. So I don't know. It's kind of a flip.
Well, and that's why we have condos that have been on the market for 414 days. So yeah. Nui, what are you seeing? Are you seeing that people are coming in at a lot lower, and then the seller just kind of just makes a deal with them to bring it up to a little bit, or you think people are getting what they want? I mean, so if someone comes in and says 10% lower than what you wanted, are you seeing anybody saying, sure, I'll take that?
Yes.
One that I submitted an offer not too long ago, and I told the buyer beforehand, I'm like, I really don't think this is gonna fly, but we'll try it. And they did come back with a counter offer, but it was not very much more than what we offered, so I was shocked. And then with our listings, we are seeing people come in a lot lower. Sometimes I'm like, wow, the audacity. But a lot of our sellers are countering back. But yeah, I am seeing people try to
Get a deal.
lowball, for lack of better terms. And I guess sometimes it's worse and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. I feel like that strategy of trying to lowball someone is not really the best strategy going in, because then you just set up the negotiation on a bad foot, especially if you're willing to pay a fair price for it. Then lowballing, I think you just set yourself up for a hard negotiation later on if there's something else you need to negotiate. In my opinion, I just feel like it's
I could add to that. It also seems like it pisses some people off. If you come in and you're just going to undercut super hard and just say, we're going for, just cut it really to the bone, then sometimes the sellers say, no, I'm not going to work with you at all. It's just not even worth, you're so far out of my price range. Let's just not even talk anymore. And then they're surprised when their deal gets rejected with no counter offer. And they're like, and then they said they don't want to, they want to offer another one back to them. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes when you do end up when your buyer ends up getting a little more realistic, and then you do come to an agreement, and sellers are already angry at you, and now they're on defense, and it makes it so much harder down the line to, like, if there's a repair that needs to be done now, this seller is like, well, you're just we already think you're ridiculous, so it just makes it really. I don't know. I just don't really think that's the best.
Don't bring a low ball offer to Nui if you see
Yeah.
that she's a listing agent. So
Well, no, and she's right, because you lose that good faith. When you're
Yeah.
working in good faith with two people, you lose that good faith. So now you've got two angry people. Nobody trusts anybody anymore, and it doesn't make for a smooth deal, especially if there's things that come up. My favorite strategy, like, just say condos listed for 700 and your buyer wants to go in at 650, and that probably the right number is about 675, right? And I think the best strategy is to come in just under what the value is, because if you're close enough to that, the seller might just take it and say, you know what, I don't want to take a chance of this guy walking on me. I know I said my bottom line was 675, and now I'm offering him 670, right? And it's like, am I gonna risk losing him? And so that's a good deal, when your realtors looked at the numbers and can really give you a fair price of where it's at, and come in with a good faith offer that's not going to upset people and that's not going to leave me. I think that's the best.
In fact, we sold a condo recently like that, where the sellers were like, well, we're not too happy with that, but we don't want to lose this opportunity, so fine, we'll take it. So yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about this too, Julie, last time, is just the way that people negotiate in the mainland is different than here, just because of our culture. And when somebody comes in so strong like that, you are more likely to offend people here than you are in the mainland or something like that, just because of the way that our culture is. And so I think that if you are not from here, you don't understand the culture, it's even more important to get a realtor that does understand the culture and how to go into a negotiation from the start.
Yeah, especially in East Hawaii. So my microphone's a little strange. So if you guys missed that, Nui was saying that the culture of Hawaii is different than that on the mainland. And so coming in strong and trying to undercut with that attitude, aloha is in play here on the island, right? In terms of working with people. And Nui was talking about this in a previous video that we did earlier this month, that having, like, let's say, strong-armed investors coming in and just saying, here, you take my money. And Nui's like, that doesn't play here. So, that's come in a little bit softer. And then Jana, you kind of jumped in like, boom, like, no, this is what's your thing so far? Are you like seeing people lowball houses, and do you suggest that? What's your story?
So no, I never would suggest a lowball, because I'm with Lance. I think it needs to be a win-win. You're not trying to hammer down the other side. You're trying to give a realistic offer that is going to be, the buyer and the seller are both going to be happy with, and they're both going to win. That being said, sometimes sellers have to sell, and I have seen a few offers lately where they offered low balls, and I was like, this is never going to work, and then it worked. So, we don't like that, but that happens sometimes if you're the seller, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what they call motivated seller.
On the market a long time.
Yeah.
And maybe the price was too high to start with on the listing, because you're thinking the house down the street sold a couple of years ago for X. And so maybe it's not too high. Maybe it's not a low ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's a case by case basis, but I have seen some pretty big, like I said, 89% in Waikoloa Village. To me, that's huge.
I've been seeing some of the prices come down $100,000 on single family homes in Waikoloa Village. So, if you're ready, and speaking of being ready, if you have not talked to a lender yet and you are watching this, I am going to highly suggest you talk to one of our favorite professionals, that would be Travis, who is going to help make sure that you're pre-qualified. So making sure that you are set up and ready to go with funding for the deals that might be showing up in the market over the next few months. It's a good opportunity. Also, as you guys can all see, that the market is still kind of soft. It's not falling. It's not crashing, right? Everyone agrees that we're not having a crashing market. We're just having a market. Work with a realtor that knows how to negotiate. And also, if you guys are interested in listening to specifically Lance and I and Eric are going to be doing the update on West Hawaii from his ranch. We're going to be wearing cowboy hats and saying woo-ha. If you guys want to hear what's going on in the West Hawaii housing market, that's next. We're going to be talking on Friday, right? No. That's Nui's on Friday. Lance is on Thursday the 7th. Thursday the 7th. So if you guys are really following up on this one, I will, because Eric's in charge of production, you'll get both of those videos up by Saturday the 9th, and you guys can see what's happened to the July market. And then also, like I said, talk to Travis about the finances, and if you're looking for investment and information about houses up in Waikoloa Village, talk to Jana. She just loves herself a good Kahala ranch. And so thanks to all of you guys, and Nui, thanks again for bringing in the information. I know that your time is short, so we will wrap this up. And if you guys have questions for any of these people, please drop it in the comments below. I will put information about how to reach these people. And Lance has a interesting blog post he wrote that I think that he wanted to share. And so if you are on the 365 Facebook group, I'm moving to Hawaii and buying a home, I will let him post that, and that way you guys can read a little bit more about Lance's thoughts. And otherwise, we will see you guys next month. And thanks to everyone for being here, and hope you guys are having a continuing beautiful summer, and we'll see you in August. So aloha.
Great to see all you guys. Thank you.